And please, mods, kick out everybody who says 6-7. As like the best reason of all not to ever get that score. Boo, you suck. This is what he does, isn't it? Let's try and play as I played against Maxim in the World Blitz, with an early b5, not kicking the queen away. I know that he plays this line with the early queen foray. I think in that line Maxim had already gone knight b knight of 3, which is not necessarily where you want the knight. Here he has a little bit more flexibility. It looks a bit sus. Maybe you can go for a quick knight d5 or something. Maybe not. A take d6. What's the big deal? No, well, he goes for it. Then 97, blocking the check, but my development is obviously quite poor. I'm developmentally challenged, as they say these days. What happened there? My mouse froze for a sec. It's probably a skill issue. Knight h4. Gotta go king d8, yeah? I think so. Escaping the pin, preventing knight f5. And I am a piece up though, so even though that is about the only positive thing you can say about my position, that may still be fairly significant. And knight d7 next is going to solve a lot of problems. Now, if I were a good commentator, I would have prepared my next sentence, like why is knight d7 an important move, and so on. But I haven't, because I can play chess much better than I explain it, sadly. f6, he wants to take, rook here, knight f5, knight d7. That doesn't really work for him, does it? That was not the conclusion I expected to reach while starting that sentence, but here we are. Yeah, I mean, that is an admission of failure if I were someone. Now I develop, this is threatened. There's always going to be some practical counterplay, as my king is weak, but I don't think he really has much here. This is often a good move to get in the Sicilian, because you sometimes have to make a little bit of an awkward move to prevent the crude threat of checkmate. And if you're wondering if I'm saying crude a bit too much because I just learned that word, no, I didn't. But it's a good word, isn't it? Let's take this. How bad can that be? Bishop g2. And then I think probably just knight b6, to be honest. Or queen c5. No, not queen c5. You crazy? Bishop a5, yeah, but I am consolidating here. King c7, king b8. And we're slowly but surely getting to safety. Knight d6 was possible there, but bishop d6 here. If he had time to go rook e7, he might have some counterplay, but his rook was hanging. So now I've successfully extricated the king, and I am a fairly clean piece up. Let's threaten mate again. Well, not really mate, but at least an unpleasant check. That's a good move. Prepares knight d4. That was somewhat missed by me. Let's change plan. Bishop c5. That's a little bit risky, isn't it? My pieces are somewhat awkwardly placed. I gotta admit that. Okay, I think we gotta try and trade a little bit. Knight f5. Didn't really expect that. I thought he would go f4 immediately. And if I take queen d4, knight f3, I mean, there's b6 hanging at the end of it, so that wasn't really clear at all. Whereas now, well, he gets g7, but I've consolidated my position and I do have some trumps of my own. Much like the United States. Queen c5, preparing this, and yeah, exactly here I wanted d4 and attack with d3, and we are dangerously nearing Resign's territory. If he takes, I take, and there's a discovered check with knight to d4, and now I get a very dangerous passed pawn and attack as well. I think this wins knight b4, but seems incredibly unnecessary. Unless you're in a certain kind of mood, then you always take the easy option in such situations. You want to win the game with absolute 100% certainty, not 99.9. Here it takes rook e1, rook g1, there's queen c1, checkmate, just to show that. Boom! I wonder if I was ever like in serious trouble here. Yeah, at least on low depth, the engine says it's fine. Queen c7 is good. King d8 is good. f6 is good. Those don't work. Knight here. Exactly. Bishop d5 is very cool, but here. Rook c8 threatens mate. Apart from that, you have knight e5, rook e5, but basically, even like knight b6, there's no attack.